The views and opinions expressed on From the Mouths of Madness are that of the panel and not of the Geeks Under the Influence Network or their sponsors, Amazon.com and tpublic.com. Listeners, beware. Coming straight from the Mouths of Madness, I am one of the hosts, Lowdown. With me, as always, is
F.U.Hunter. What's up, holiday bitches?
Merry bitches.
Merry bitches.
Merry. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, it's time of the year. We're at the final holiday of the holiday season. It seems like it went by fast.
Yeah, it did.
Right? Like,
yeah,
I feel like...
I remember we just talked about Halloween, and now it's like, yeah. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers.
I feel like yesterday we were recording like our excited about Halloween coming up in like September. We were like, oh, it's coming.
Blinked. Yeah. Not that I can keep track of days or dates or anything as much anymore. Everything's all over the fucking place, whatever.
But, I mean, it does seem like it went by really quick. I feel like that's how all holiday seasons work.
Yeah.
It just runs, and it comes and it goes. So, we're keeping it thematic. We're going with another Christmas movie that Hunter and I both just recently watched. And it's, so I've got two different days for it. I found 2016, but it also looks like, it also says 2017. I don't know which one's which.
Let's just say 2017.
Let's say 2017.
Yeah.
IMDb's got 2016.
We've run across that a couple times, and that might be where that was like initial release.
It might have been released overseas.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Let's just go with 2017.
So 2017's Better Watch Out.
Yes.
That is, it is a fun little holiday.
All right, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you do it. There you go.
It's going to fucking kill me.
Mm-hmm.
But there's certain times where there is a movie that is reliant on kind of the something that happens in the plot that the movie runs with that. This is one of those movies that I feel like I am going to do it. It's going to fucking kill me. I'm going to say spoiler warning because this movie makes a dramatic change in about the middle of it that if you know ahead of time, it's almost kind of pointless watching the movie.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to suggest, if you haven't watched Better Watch Out, try to watch it before you listen to this episode.
Yes.
Just if you want to. If you have no interest in watching it, that's fine. Listen along. We're going to fucking ruin the twist or whatever. But if you are curious about it, then I say stop, watch it, and then come right back to us because this is your warning, and we're just going to give out the twist in the middle of this review.
Now, I will say that actually I feel like it happens a little sooner because the movie's only an hour and a half. I feel like it happened 20 and 25 minutes into the movie.
Okay, but
it felt like and we'll go into part of my problem with this film. It feels like there's a long stint of the movie is that twist. So
last warning.
We're gonna dig in.
We're jumping right into it.
We're gonna spoil shit, and Hunter said it, so you know it's a big.
That's
deal.
what I'm saying. And we discussed it before we started recording. I feel fucking weird as shit giving the fucking spoiler warning, but this movie is very reliant on not knowing this in order to enjoy the movie.
Yep. So if you give a shit, stop, come back after an hour and a half of watching this film. And continue on. If not, all right, we're in.
All right, yeah. So, no more bitching. Wait, you're past the point. We've warned you twice.
So it starts off funny. It starts off in like the suburbs and like everyone's doing Christmas stuff, but it kind of lets you know where it's going because someone knocks down this snowman that one of the kids is making, and then what did the kid call him? Oh, he said no. The kid yelled like, "Go get fucked in the ass," and chases after the kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, I see where we're at. And then it flashes Better Watch Out in like Holly or something. I'm like, okay, fair enough.
But I will say this, as the build-up, you have the babysitter coming over, and then you get introduced to who she's babysitting, which is like this 12-year-old kid. You're like, first thing when you're watching it, you're like, why does a fucking 12-year-old need a fucking babysitter?
Truth.
That was kind of bizarre. You kind of pick up from the parents, which the parents being Virginia Madsen.
For those who don't know, we got Candyman.
Come
on.
Yep.
And then, the man I wish we had more screen time with this movie, Patrick Warburton.
Yep.
And if you don't know who he is, I'm not even going to mention what he's done because it's just known.
Voice actor for tons of shit.
And Putty and
Putty. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Come on, man.
Brock Sampson.
Fuck.
Brock Sampson. Brock Sampson. All right. Brock motherfucking Sampson. All right.
Oh God.
But and they're only in it very briefly. They're just the parents, the babysitter comes over, going over the rules and stuff like that. But you can also tell there's a little bit of you pick up babying this kid that he's got these little things and he might sleepwalk, so you put a pencil over the doorknob to make sure.
And it does come from the mom because the dad is like fucking with the mom the entire time.
Yeah,
like he's literally giving his mom shit the entire time. But the mom's being like this tight wound little thing.
It does also though kind of answer why a 12-year-old is getting a babysitter is because the mom's like, well, we're going out, so you can't, I just need to make sure my baby's being taken care of. But and that's what's weird is that a 16 or I guess 17-year-old, what do you say?
She's like 17.
17 is
she might be right
babysitting
at
a 12-year-old. That's kind of weird. So they leave, and then immediately the kid she's watching is like fucking bust out a bottle of wine. Well, I guess before she shows up, he is talking to his friend, and his friend's smoking weed. So there's a couple hints, a little bit, but like the kid's like, all right, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want, and like she's already not kind of gelling with that.
Yeah, well, he planned it all. The scene that you get with the friend is talking about his plan of fucking the babysitter. Like as a 12-year-old, he's literally got this elaborate plan.
He's gonna be fucking smooth.
He's gonna bang out the babysitter.
Yep.
And it kind of feeds on the thing like any kid who had a babysitter long enough is generally like, yeah, I'm gonna get in that.
But he thinks he has a legitimate chance, which is crazy. And the kid's name is Luke.
Luke, yeah.
Luke. And her name is Ashley. So so Ashley's there to babysit, and Luke's like, all right, this is where I'm gonna be, fucking Don Juan. Like, dude, you're fucking 12. She is babysitting you, all right? Ain't gonna fucking happen. But
so, I mean, when he goes over the plan, you literally hear them talking about how fear releases endorphins and will make, so he's like, oh, if we really scare the crap out of her, then, yada, yada, yada. So as he's like getting them drunk, both drunk, because like, well, he's getting shit out because he's 12 and he's drinking.
He's chugging a fucking bottle of wine or champagne.
She had like a glass or something like that, and she's got one of her ex texting her constantly, and that's pissing him off. And he slowly realized that like she's just not going to happen at all. And then all of a sudden, there's shit
starts getting kind of weird.
Yeah, and like you got knock on the door and
random knocks on the door. I think there was a phone call, but then the phone line goes dead. And at first they're getting freaked out, and then it's Luke's friend Garrett that shows up. They're like, oh, that's fucking Garrett being an asshole. But then he's hanging out of the house, and then there's still kind of random shit going on.
Yeah, like and then they see like the tire the tire to our car is flat with a knife, and he gets shot.
Well,
that's what takes it out. Yeah,
Garrett runs out the back door and gets shot, and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because there's through his window, a brick came through and said, if you leave, you die.
Yeah.
And he said, fuck it, and he runs through, and then you see him get shot in the backyard, and just kind of go off screen a little bit, where all you see is his feet past some bushes.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, he's dead.
But that makes it kind of real, because now, like, where it's like, maybe somebody's fucking with you, like, they believe that they just saw Garrett fucking get shot, and he's laying dead in the backyard. That's when she starts freaking out. He's freaking out. She's comforting him. She's like, it's all right. We're going to take. So before you know it, they're upstairs. This person is broken into the house with the fucking shotgun, walking around, checking each door. And they're hiding initially, I think, the laundry room. They make it up to the attic. And Luke grabs his dad's gun. He's like, I know where my dad's gun is. I'm going to get it. So he's got a gun. He's like, I know how to use this or whatever like that. They're hiding in the closet. A really dramatic scene where the person with the shotgun's in the fucking room. He's slowly walking around. And then Ashley, the babysitter's like, wait a second, and recognizes the hat the burglar is wearing is the same fucking hat that Garrett was fucking wearing earlier in the night. And she comes out of the closet and fucking like, Garrett, come to find out, it's Garrett who, like, I guess patted himself up to look taller and, like, beefed up. And like she fucking just rips off the face mask, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
And come to find
figured it out.
yeah, that Luke, set up this whole thing like he was talking about, that bring out this fear and get her like all kind of dependent on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then okay, so dumb plan, whatever like that. But then she's fucking pissed, and she starts going off with him. And this is the moment when you go, what the fuck is going on? Because she's yelling at him, and Luke hauls off and slaps the fuck out of her.
Yeah, so she yells at him and then runs out of the room, and he stops her right at the top of the stairs and just pop, and then she just falls down the stairs. And you're like, okay. All right.
And just the way they had the character set up to that point, like, he's talking about macking on the babysitter, but you didn't see this, like, kind of fucked up, twisted part of him. It came out. Slaps the shit out of her. She falls down the steps, wakes up, tied to a chair. Yep.
So that's the big twist, is the kid's still moving forward with this fucked up thing. He's got his dad's gun. It's keeping her tied up to a chair.
Well, he's like obsessed with her, and that's what you realize is he's got her tied up, and he hates the fact that she dated this one dude who treated her like shit, and then this other guy, and like literally almost like some weird stalking motherfucker who she would never pay attention to because it's the kid she fucking babysits.
Mm-hmm.
And here he is, and he's got her tied up, and pretty much has just taunting her with the fucking gun, and pretty much wants her to get her, I guess, current boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, one of them to come over.
Because there's two dudes, apparently. Yeah.
I guess the most current.
Yeah, Ricky or whatever his name is. I think it's Ricky.
To get him over there.
He texts her.
Yeah.
I mean, he texts Ricky, whatever the fuck his name is, through her phone.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally, before all this went crazy, he threw the phone like he was throwing it at her because she wanted it because it was ringing, and he dumped it. It fell into the aquarium.
Yep.
And then you find out that he wrapped it in plastic.
Yep.
Prior to that. So when he pulled her phone out, he unwrapped it, and it's working just fine. Like, he has this whole shit.
Yeah, and he had texted, let's just say Ricky.
Yeah, I don't remember his name is.
Yeah, to come over to work shit out.
Yeah. So Ricky shows up, and meanwhile, she's already been like, she's been hit a couple times at this point because she's tried to escape. She's talked shit to him. Garrett's starting to get a little freaked out because he's like, this isn't really what I signed up for, dude.
Yeah, no.
He's like,
it seemed like it was supposed to be a prank. Like, let's scare the babysitter.
Yeah.
And then it just starts getting more and more twisted.
Mm-hmm.
And, they play, Would You Dare, or Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare. Truth or Dare, that's what it is.
And Garrett dares Luke to fucking touch her tit, and he's like, I'll tell you, all right, So, I mean, I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to be groped by the fucking 12-year-old,
Yeah.
So it's getting a little more...
Oh, he gets a hard on, too.
Yeah, he does.
Garrett calls him out.
Yeah.
Once he touches the boob, she's like, looks down and giggles, and he's like, ha ha, and then he's embarrassed.
I do appreciate where this movie is. There's moments where the kid's sadistic and fucked up, but they are also 12-year-olds. So, like, there's the random thing where she rats out that, that Luke accidentally killed Garrett's fucking gerbil or guinea pig or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't believe you lied to me. It's like this 12-year-old problem,
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh yeah, that's right. They are 12-year-olds. But it bounces back and forth where you have this kid who has a gun, has his babysitter tied up, is fucking with her, but then they're arguing about who lied about the, guinea pig fucking dying.
Which is weird because why would, like, a grown, I feel like Ricky was like 18 or something or whatever, so relatively grown, have trouble with a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah, no, I mean, he shouldn't.
Like, well, I mean, all right, so getting hit with a baseball bat, clearly.
He does get hit with a baseball bat.
But after that, he's like, you little shit. And he's like,
he gets hit with a baseball bat, and
stab him in the cheek.
And then fucking that pencil that's supposed to help out with the sleepwalk or whatever, fucking Luke grabs that and stabs him in the fucking face with a fucking pencil.
I think that took the stun away from the bat because he was pissed after that. He was like, you fucker. And he grabs him. But no, when he's holding him down, it's like that's when he gets stabbed. So it's like, how are you struggling with this 12-year-old kid?
He's probably just caught off guard, man. He doesn't think the fucking 12-year-old's going to fucking try to, like, kill him with the fucking bat. But eventually he's successful, knocks him the fuck out, ties him up. Now you got Ricky and fucking Ashley fucking
tied up.
And it's just this weird thing about, like, where he's just fucking with the gun. He's like, he talks about Ashley being a virgin. Like, well, then maybe we should have Ricky fuck you now. Like, stuff you wouldn't expect from this kid to come out. And then I guess he's got to build it up a little bit. And this is where it takes another level, in my opinion, because I guess Garrett's fucking smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
Luke gets pissed off. And they talked about earlier, before everything started, in the beginning of the movie, about the paint can scenario in Home Alone.
Oh, yeah, they're having this argument in the bedroom prior to this while they're scheming about scaring the babysitter.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we just went over this. I proved yada, yada, yada. And, you know.
And this is where you get to that next level of Luke being just fucked up. Because he's like, we're going to fucking try this shit.
Oh, he does make, as a side note, he does make Ricky piss himself.
That is true.
Because Ricky was like, he's bathroom and he tells him to shut up, and then like all of a sudden Ricky starts pissing. And every time something happens to this house, it goes into the perfect thing with Luke of being a 12-year-old and his mom getting furious.
Oh shit. Yeah, there's urine on the floor. Oh shit.
There's smoking in the house. He's like, my mom's gonna fuck it. And his voice gets so high because it's cracking because he's 12. Yeah. My mom's gonna kill me. And then like Luke pisses on the Ricky pisses on the floor. Luke, same thing. He's like, oh my God, not on the fuck, my mom, you animal. My mom's gonna kill me.
Exactly.
Like, every time something happens that even remotely dirties the house.
He's still thinking about when my parents get home, I don't want to get in trouble. As opposed to, I have two people fucking tied up and I'm fucking fucking with them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of a.
He pulls Ricky over to the living room, I guess the hall, the entrance, and they have the staircase up there, and he's got a full yellow can of yellow paint tied to a string, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking try this, and he drops it down, swings it, and it goes whooshing right by fucking Ricky, and we're like, God damn it. And then he tells Garrett, move him over a little bit. He moves him over, pulls the can back up, and you're still thinking, he's just fucking with him. This whole thing is just fucking with people. Maybe he'll get in trouble, but he might be able to sell his parents that this was bullshit or whatever like that. And nope, he drops that fucking full can, and I know you're about to cry about this, but it makes contact with Ricky, and Ricky's face Ricky's done.
Meanwhile, Ashley has been slowly escaping.
Yeah.
Like, she has slowly been cutting herself loose, and then while they're doing this, she's screaming not to do this, and so she just says fuck it and just jumps back on
where the realization comes in. He has now killed somebody. This isn't fucking with someone. This is
she breaks herself free right before that happens, and she's in the foyer with Garrett saying like, no, don't do this.
And that's when
and then it falls and and like you just see Luke run down and he's like, holy shit, his head exploded. And they don't actually show it.
I know. That's aggravating.
Actually show it.
Yeah.
And that really irritated me.
I know. And that was really fucking obnoxious.
I really wanted to see
because you see the yellow paint everywhere and you see blood. You get the idea, but you don't get just a one shot of it,
But you've been like, come on, guys.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's rated R. Like,
it's rated R.
Yeah, then why not?
Give us something. Yeah. Give us a little of that juicy juice.
But pretty much at that point, she is like, fuck this, tries to run out. She almost fucking
gets to the carolers.
Yeah, she gets...
He throws the brick that broke the house earlier and knocks her the fuck out. And so then he starts dragging her back into the bushes. And it's funny, you see when the carolers stop and look over, just as he went into the bushes with her and then go back to singing.
Yep.
Like, you motherfuckers.
Yep.
Useless ass carolers.
It kind of reminds me of the scene in Scream where literally Drew Barrymore is just on that side view, and you almost fucking... her parents are walking into the house, and she's right there, but her parents don't turn to the side. They just look straight ahead into the fucking house,
Yeah.
So, but I think after she gets recaptured, Luke and Garrett get into it, and Luke is like, fuck this noise, and fucking shotgun blast his friend.
That was after, was that after or before they get the other boyfriend to show up? Like, he starts texting the other boyfriend.
Yeah, he's
Jeremy.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's got Ashley tied up with lights in one of the chairs, and that's what it is. He's out there dealing with Jeremy.
That's right, because he's like, you know what? You should write an apology letter. And the guy, and by the way, her other ex is such a fucking.
Well, you know who that is, right?
It's from
Stranger Things.
Yeah, exactly.
Dakara, Montgomery, however the fuck you pronounce his first name.
Yeah, he's
the older brother.
He was in Power Rangers too. But But I love
the older brother in
they
Stranger
made
Things.
him like hip hop, so he's got like the worst
he's
fucking
such a
style.
douche.
He's got the worst style.
Such a douche.
And he's like, "Aw, kid, I don't believe you." And he's like, "All right, maybe I'll believe you a little bit." And he's like, "Here." Like Luke hands him a pad and paper. It's like, you need to write her an apology letter. That's what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude's like, all right, fuck it, And then that's when we come back to, you're right. Garrett's has decided.
Did you kill him? Like, because he basically hung him.
Yeah. But remember, Garrett was like realizing, oh shit, this is some fucked up shit. Maybe I should help.
And he was trying
get her out.
He was trying to get her out. Yeah. He was helping get her
and
free.
Luke responded by like such betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he fucking shotgun blasts the fuck out of him. So,
and then knocks him into the dining room, and then he just goes in and like, I forget what the actual exchange of words were, but he shoots him again, and he's like, I was getting tired of you anyway.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this kid's fucked.
The kid is fucked up.
He was yelling at him. He's like, total sociopath of like, this isn't my fault. He was like, see what you made me do?
Yeah.
Like he was totally blaming Garrett.
Exactly.
For him shooting Garrett.
You should have tried to let her free and you.
What the fuck?
I told you not to mess with this.
Yeah. I was like, oh, really, kid? Oh, you're a nut job.
So,
like, if it wasn't proven before, you're like blaming your friend for you shooting him.
Exactly.
Like, that's not how that works.
So, Hip Hop Stranger Things finishes his letter, which pretty much is like this apology letter, but also evidence. And once Luke gets that, he's like, all right, well, time to hang a motherfucker. And he had him sitting on a swing writing this letter and sets it up and pulls him up and then fucking hooks him up to a tractor.
Yeah.
And fucking drags.
Riding lawnmower.
Riding lawnmower.
Holds him up.
It literally just pulls him up. It's like, all right. And you find out that like now he has this whole setup of the jealous ex-boyfriend who killed the current boyfriend, killed her, and then wrote this suicide apology note and then hung himself outside.
Mm-hmm.
Then Luke comes in and pretty much actually still trying to, like, she realizes at this point, he's murdered 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's probably no reasoning. And she just kind of knows what's going to happen. And Luke takes a fucking knife to her and, like, does he slit her?
He stabs her in the side of the throat.
That's right.
He doesn't slit it. He just stabs her through the right side of the throat. And basically, then he starts to put everything together to where, like, he removes so we find out what they did so that make you think Garrett was shot earlier. Ashley found out when she ran to try to get out of the house and get to the carolers was a sensor. It was paintball.
Yeah.
So every time you went by the sensor, you got shot by a paintball. So he starts moving he removes the paintball gun. He does everything that was technically a setup. And he gets all that out of the way, and he just sets it up to where, like, the knife that he stabbed her in the side of the neck with, he put it in the dude that's hanging out there's hand to get the handprints on it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, he does
everything
all this crazy shit.
to set up that cops go, it's a
open and close case.
Yeah, there you go. The ex-boyfriend went nuts and killed people and stuff like that. Which, again, like, so they would be like, well, this ex-boyfriend tied the dude up and set up a paint can and fucking murdered that dude. And you know what I mean? Like, it's very in-depth for some stranger to fucking roll up in somebody's house and do all the killings the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
But, and again, being the mentality of a 12-year-old that's fucked up in the head, he's like, and I'll just lay in bed.
So he had to put the pencil back over the door.
Yeah, and then climb.
So he wasn't sleepwalking.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get it to work from the inside because it kept falling off. So he had to do that. Then he had to walk into the other bedroom the bedroom next door to his, go out the window, walk across the porch roof.
Yeah.
To get back, and the whole time, like, he's knocking lights and shit down, and he's like getting irritated.
The parents had just gotten home too, so like
you got like a deer that's falling, a candy cane that's falling. You got all these lights on the porch that are falling. He's like, fucking reindeer. He's getting all pissed because he needs to get back inside and have the window closed and lay down before his parents make it up there.
Yeah.
So he makes it in. He does all that, and of course now that the pencil's over the doorknob, of course. He hasn't been out of the room.
I was asleep when all the murdering and torturing was happening, which again seems kind of crazy, but he knows his parents are going to buy it, and what are the cops going to do? If he doesn't have evidence of it, and you hear that reaction you knew you were going to hear is immediately as the parents come in, mom sees the whoever first body, she's screaming, and then you kind of fast forward a little bit to cops are there, and they're trying to console everybody and stuff like that, and you're pretty much like, wow.
But then they carry Ashley out.
Well, that's what the cops are pretty much like. What Luke had hoped. Oh, this definitely looks like this is what happened, and Luke, that little sadistic fuck, is so fucking happy. And then
they hear that, on the way out, it's like, she's still alive. No, this one's still alive. She put duct tape over the wound. It's the only thing that saved her life. And then you remember a reference back to something that Lucas said to her, was that you can use duct tape for anything.
Yep.
And like she had ripped off enough of a piece big enough to cover the puncture wound. Well, I mean, she did bleed out. She was weak as shit because there was a giant puddle of blood.
Yeah, there was so much, but she at least slowed it down to that barely level of being.
So the mom's holding Luke at the bedroom window, looking out at the hospital, at the paramedics as they're saying this, and you see Luke's face change, and then you just see her like with her eyes are open when she gets ready to get put into the ambulance, and she just flicks them off.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, you forgot one thing, fuckhead, and I'm going to fucking make sure you burn for this shit.
But after the initial credit, they do a Marvel thing, and after the initial credits, it goes back to where Luke's like, Mom, I'm really worried about Ashley. I think we should go visit her at the hospital. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. She's dead.
Got to clean up that last look.
Yeah, I mean, he found a way to kill her. But yeah, that was a cool little, because you thought like, oh shit, it's going to get ending.
What's funny is I totally didn't know that was on there until I'll have to go back and find that part.
Oh yeah, it's like after the initial credits. Yeah. So like I said, they do like a Marvel thing where they show like actual picture credits of like everyone's name and whatever, some Christmassy shit. And then it has a cutscene where it's like he's like, Mom, I feel bad. I think we need to go visit Ashley at the hospital. And yeah,
I have to go check that out.
So, what you thought would happen is he's gonna get caught. Is not really.
Yeah,
he's
I'll give this props. This movie, watching it just that first time, not knowing the twist, it definitely caught me off guard when he goes and slaps her, and then she wakes up tied up. I thought going into this movie, it was your basic break-in, whatever kind of style movie. Mm. So I will admit, they got me. I had no idea. And it was a pleasant surprise. But it's hard to say I could go into this movie again, because now that I don't know if it would hold up.
Yeah, same thing here. And also, man, that kid was, at certain points, he was fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to punch the kid.
Well, I think that was the effective part, is that, he's a spoiled rich kid who is pretty much off his fucking rocker. He's got to be annoying. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, that's true.
He's pretty much always gotten his way, except when it came to her. He obsessed with her, and because he couldn't get his way with her, which is, her fucking pretty much, he's like, then I'm going to destroy your world. Mm. So I think he did a good job in it, but yes, he did such a good job, we're annoyed by him. But we're supposed to be annoyed by him. Yeah. He's not the good guy,
I know, it was just like 45, 50 minutes of just being annoyed by this little shithead. Yeah. Because we kind of went through it fast, but a lot of these things didn't happen fast. There was pretty decent sized gaps in between each individual event that happened. You know what I mean?
There was definitely some build up and stuff like that. And yes, he does have his temper tantrums throughout the movie. Because, again, he's a 12-year-old who's spoiled, who wants to fucking murder people. He
has a little dance montage while he's putting everything together.
Yeah.
Remember, he's like dancing while he's doing everything. I'm like, all right, kid. No.
I would definitely say this movie leans much more on the comedy aspect.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have really any jump scares. It's got some fucked up scenes, but again, the one scene that, you should be like, oh, this is going to be fucking crazy to look at, they don't really show you. They set you up, but they don't really show you.
Fucker.
I always kind of put it with, and I'm not comparing the movies, but the scene with Joker when he's got the knife to the dude's mouth, and you ask people later on, like, oh no, you saw him slit the dude's guy. No, you don't. You just get that impression. It's kind of like that with the paint cans. You know what happened. You know what you probably look at. We just didn't get to see it.
It's annoying.
I know.
That's just, oh.
You're like, I wanted to see the head.
Yeah, because you just see the paint come down and you see like blood and like gooey stuff come down, but you didn't actually get to see the full like front view of the head, which would have been just cool to see. I mean, you didn't have much of a budget, dude. You're in like a house most of the time. You could have
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't want to. I don't know why I didn't want to show that. It's rated R. Like, I don't get it.
But this is a tricky one because I know usually when we put movies on the chopping block, it's a pretty definitive, like, we fucking love it, you should own this shit, or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Or we're like, fuck this movie, don't fuck around with this movie. And this one's a little harder to call because I enjoyed the fuck out of it watching it this time. I just don't know, like, again, it doesn't have any replay value. So, and if you go into it blind, it's fun. But once you know, it's pointless.
Yeah, it's kind of like, all right, so I got because it is good the first time. The movie serves its purpose, and I think it passes the chopping block for the one viewing.
Yeah.
But the movie has zero replay value for me.
Right.
Like, I don't really think I'll watch it again.
I'll compare it to
The first Saw.
No, I'll
Sixth Sense.
No, I'll compare it to The Village. The first time I watched The Village, I was still kind of into it. Just what they had set up in there. Once you fucking know the twist that it's real, and that they're pretending to be the fucking monster, you can never watch that movie again, ever.
Yeah, the difference is the twist is actually good and Better Watch Out. The twist is not good in The Village.
Right.
That movie's trash.
But I'm just saying it's a good example of there's no way you could ever watch The Village again because you're like, no, it's fucking real time and that's them dressed up and red is color of blood.
Sixth Sense, actually, because I really haven't watched Sixth Sense much since.
I can still at least watch Sixth Sense a few times because it's so well directed and it's. I can watch it even knowing the twist.
Mm-hmm.
Village, there's no reason to ever fucking watch that. So I don't know. We don't have a middle ground on this shit, but I mean, it's not fuck this movie, but it's not own this movie.
No, it passed the chopping block for the one view. Like, you will enjoy it watching it the first time. Maybe you're different than us. Maybe you don't care about that, and you'll enjoy watching it again and again. Personally, like, I don't see myself rewatching this movie.
It's definitely not in the Krampus territory where you're like, it's a holiday favorite. You know? No.
It's like, all right, it's a holiday horror movie. Cool. I watched it. Didn't hate it. Didn't feel like I wasted my hour and a half.
Yeah.
It had a cool twist.
It's nice being able to see it on a streaming service.
Yes.
Where you can watch it and go, okay, not like, well, I heard about it, so I picked it up, and now it's in my collection. I'll never watch it again. That's the best way to do it. Take advantage of the streaming service. It's on...
Is it Shudder or Prime? One of the two.
I think it's on Prime.
Okay.
So, but yeah, take advantage of it on Prime. You don't need to own it, but you should check it out.
Yeah, that's what we got. That's what we got. So yeah, that was actually kind of a first, because you're right. It's usually like yay or nay, but it's
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
This is a yes, watch it, but only once.
Yeah.
So it passes, but just once.
Yeah.
It's zero replay. So
if you miss that on this holiday season, then hopefully it's still streaming next year. You can see it next holiday season.
It's been on there all year. I feel like I've seen it on there the entire year.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna watch Chris's movie in fucking June. Like, it's just eh.
And it's funny you say that because it kept popping up my suggestions, and I was like, again, I'm not watching a Christmas movie in June. You're gonna have to wait. So I waited, and I've heard several people hype it up. It's got pretty good ratings and stuff like that. But now I waited till 'tis the season.
Yeah.
So
all right, everyone. That's that. Let us know what you think. Hit us up lowdownbrown.gui@gmail.com if you watched it and you agree that it's only got a one-time viewing, or if you've watched it and you think you can rewatch it all the time. Let us know if you came back and listened to this after you watched it and you only watched it because of this episode. That'd be cool to know too.
Yeah.
We directed you towards a movie. That's kind of cool. And as always, go to GUIPodcast.com, hit up all the other podcasts on the network, and until we talk to you again, stay safe.
Join us at GUIPodcast.com.
In a world ravaged by movie studios that keep rehashing the same things, only one podcaster has the guts to make it even worse. Join Mike the Hobbit as he traverses the internet to bring you some of the best and worst ideas for reboots, remakes, and reimaginings of some of your favorite and least favorite TV and film properties. Ideas like a John Waters He-Man movie, Fantastic Four the musical, and Aliens, done entirely with marionettes. What podcast would bring this evil upon the world? This is Smack My Pitch Up. Available anywhere you get your podcasts.
My name is Amy Bogard.
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
And we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as, what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIPodcast.com.